Let's go. Cool kid step to the front. Cool kid. Too sweet sign for the click.
Bitch, you don't work there.
I feel like I need a shower just looking at you.
Ready,
what the fuck does that mean?
They ain't been the same ever since.
What?
Living pretty
We
well
cut the
on
hand off
cherry.
our You're gonna be single for the rest of your life.
Brock Lesnar on the beast.
Look at the heat.
Sleep flex on
Look
the
at the
beat.
heat.
Whole new swag with a pass on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level got
I get no bitches.
Bringing content on daily. Feeling like Gresh unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh and Suela podcast. This is episode number 30 here on wherever you listen to your podcast. As always, joining me is the voice that does the most, the voice of deviltry himself, Gresh. I'm speaking in third person for some reason. And joining me, as always, is the queen of rebels herself, Suela the Bandit. What's good with your family?
Hey y'all. Today is actually a great day and a great night. It was like 75 degrees outside today.
I felt
Weird.
that too. I went to North Carolina. It was cold as shit. I came back and it was warm.
Weird.
Georgia does
In
not
December.
know what it wants to do with itself. So
Not at all.
we're stuck with this bullshit, I guess. But if you are new around here, this is literally the final review of the year 2022, because this is the second to last episode of the Gresh and Suela podcast for season 1. Over 30 episodes and counting we have produced, on and off, breaks,
Jesus.
none breaks, because sometimes
That's
stuff got
crazy.
canceled, life happened.
30 episodes. Ugh.
We are
30.
we are close to 60, then 100, then who knows how long we decide to keep doing this. But
Man.
so far so good, and I can tell y'all this without a shadow of a doubt: we have knocked every goal out of the park, because
Definitely.
my God, we decided to literally just shoot for the fences, vibe, chill, talk about wrestling, talk about life, and people who've been liking, sharing, retweet, downloading, all that stuff. I try not, and that's one of the things I did. I stopped paying attention to numbers, and you guys have been killing it, from the interviews to the retro reviews to the reviews of whatever pay-per-view we decide to watch that weekend. You guys have been showing up, showing out, and killing it. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. Not Instagram. Well, you get clips from Instagram, but wherever you listen to, or if you listen to on in audio format on the GreshandSuela.com or wherever you listen to your podcast, we appreciate you. But enough of the sappiness. This week in wrestling will be non-existent, because didn't have much time to watch anything modern myself. I was in North Carolina for 2 shows back to back. I was in Greensboro, then I went to Charlotte, and then now I'm back here in Atlanta. And funny enough, I literally just got through with another show this morning. So show after show after show, then I decided to hop on this podcast so you guys can enjoy my nonsense and our nonsense to talk about whatever it is we decide to talk about. And this week we decided to talk about Ricky Starks and MJF's promo, because I don't know if you got a chance to catch that, but I actually got a glimpse because I was watching that on the way back from Charlotte, and I was listening to that. Ricky Starks chewed that man out. Like, he chewed him a new one. Both men can cut a promo, but Ricky Starks, he if you weren't hyped to see that match, you became hyped after that. And we'll also give our speed round preview and predictions for NXT Deadline 2022. That will be the last NXT premium live event, if you will, on 2022. So much in store for this illustrious podcast that we're going to be calling us illustrious. We're going to speak it into existence. We're going to be giving a retro review for December 3rd, 2001 episode of WWF Raw, which saw Chris Jericho face WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, while Mr. McMahon and Kurt Angle targeted The Rock after The Rock embarrassed Vince McMahon on SmackDown with his pants down We'll talk about it. Well, and I don't know why after I watched this show, because I actually watched it. I finished watching it an hour ago because that's how lack of time I had this week. But I finished watching it an hour ago. We might get into some Wrestling Observer newsletter stuff because I was intrigued in what the direction they was going at this time behind the scenes, because there's some stuff I didn't know, because at the time, who was watching WWE in 2001? I don't think a lot of people was watching WWE in 2001. We'll get into that and so much more here on the Gresh and Suela podcast. But before we move on, we got some house notes. Patreon exclusive content is back, which includes watching Vibe videos. We're going to increase that. We're going to, besides watching Vibe, we're going to increase the number of what we bring you guys over on Patreon, patreon.com/Gresh Digital. We appreciate you guys immensely, for those of you who are a part of the team. But make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you check out episodes 1 through 4 of the Watching Vibe series, with a new one more than likely dropping next week. Once I'm done in the North Carolinas again next week, I'll be back in time. Myself and Highlight will be recording the end of the year awards for 2022, this second annual, because we didn't do last year. We're going to be recording that well in advance because holidays are literally amongst us. So we don't really have time to do that. But, if you haven't already checked out the Watching Vibe series, make sure you check that out. It is literally only $1 to join. I didn't get the chance to do anything this week because I was out of town, couldn't properly record and edit. All my software and editing stuff is in-house. I was on the road. All I had was a laptop and an iPhone. So I couldn't really do too much. I mean, I kept like interacting with you guys on social media, but I couldn't do that. But if you haven't already, you can join. $1 to join. Watching Vibe is available for all tiers, and if you want to join the club, you could do so today. And speaking of the end of the year awards with Highlight Reel, they are officially next week. The end of the year awards for 2022 is next week. You guys can check that out with myself and Highlight Reel. The Gresh and Suela podcast and the Life's a Botch podcast presents the end of the year awards. Since I am out of town again at the beginning of the week, that episode will be tape delayed, but a few options you guys will get to vote on, with voting available right now. I started plugging it yesterday. You can vote right now. Voting ends at 12 a.m. Saturday morning, so head over to vote at www.greshunleashed.com/ there's a lot of dashes in this, so I'm gonna say this with you, /P/N-of-the-year-awards/ it's in the description wherever you're checking this out. But make sure you guys vote. You can do so because I believe some of the categories right off the top that you guys can vote on is Tag Team of the Year, Faction of the Year, matter of fact, so many more. You can also vote for Return of the Year, Best Fan Reaction of the Year, and 2 additional selections. You can vote for the LGBTQ plus Superstar of the Year or Wrestler of the Year, as well as your favorite local independent superstar or / wrestler of the year. You can also vote on that. It's something fun. It's nothing to be taken too serious, but if you guys rock with us and you guys want to have fun with us and just pick out our favorite moments, myself and Highlight will take care of the main categories, culminating in Superstar of the Year, who we consider Superstar of the Year. Part 1 will take place on the Gresh and Suela podcast, with the part 2 more than likely concluding. If we don't take care of all the categories on the Gresh and Suela podcast, it will conclude over on the Life's a Botch podcast. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't done so already. Oh, yeah. Speaking of doing so already, we might as well just go ahead and let you guys know. Season 2 of the Gresh and Suela podcast will be dropping. It is happening in 2023. Now, here's the twist. As we transition into in-person podcasts for the new year, the way we are live now and we've done for the past year won't be a thing for the first few episodes of the new year as we adjust to the new shift to make up for it. We will increase listener interactive segments and content, as well as quarterly giveaways, Rather it's exclusive, it's like whether it's exclusive with one of a kind merch, gift cards, etc. Also, we're looking to finally introduce our third co-host that we've been promoting. We wanted to get him on here during the past few months. He was announced, but let's be real, he no-showed the call time each time. We're going to start fresh in the new year and see where we go from there. We're more than likely what's going on, what's going down. But yeah, season 2 is going down, and I've actually narrowed it down to 2 studios that isn't too out of pocket for either of us to travel. So we're more likely that is happening. In-person podcast will be a thing for us here at the Gresh and Leaks podcast, and here in general for our new network that will be finalized in the coming months. So make sure you guys stay tuned and keep it locked for season 2 of the Gresh and Leaks podcast in 2023. Now, before we move on, we here at the Gresh and Leaks podcast have officially sponsored our first wrestling event, coming to you live from Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the AML Pro Wrestling Training Center on Thursday, December 15th, which is next week, 2022. The Vaganza 2. It will be a live pro wrestling toy drive and variety show. I believe you can watch it over on twitch.tv/superjaw. I got the match card right in front of me. I'm going to pull it up for you right quick so you guys can know what you're in store for. We have Faction Feud. It will be hosted by Jay Rose. That's going down. It's 2 teams of 5 wrestlers versus fans, best of 3 rounds. That sounds like a fun idea. If you guys want to check it out, you can do so right now not right now, but on December 15th. I believe also you'll have, let me pull this up because I'm doing this off of a whim. You will have Bojack and Phoenix Nitro, the narrator of Violence. Phoenix Nitro, they will be your commentary team. Let's look at this match card. You have James Ryan versus Kobe Carino. You have Rob Killjoy versus Jay Malachi. You have, I believe I'm about to butcher the hell out of this man's name. Alex Vian versus Clara.
Alexavian?
Is it Alexavian?
It look like Alexavian. That's what it look like.
All right, yeah, let's go with that. Sorry about that if I butchered your name. My bad, my brother.
Look like it. I could be wrong too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could be wrong. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, this will be a nice little match you guys can check out. And then we have the Long Shots versus the Sharp Brothers. And I believe the next match that I'm going to plug is Fighters Club versus Teach and world famous BLB. It'll be a nice time with live pro wrestling, toy drive, and a variety show that you guys can watch over on twitch.tv/Superjaw. I believe tickets and such is available now over on co-fee, like coffee, but coffee.com/Superjaw. And like I said, your commentary team will be the Dreadlock, Demolition Machine, Bojack, and the narrator of Violence, Phoenix and Nitro. Make sure you guys check that out if you can. It is over in, like, once again, it is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the AML Pro Wrestling Training Center on Thursday, December 15th, which is next week. And it will be something that you guys, I believe you guys should check out. It's our first ever sponsored. We were sponsoring something. You saw our logo at the bottom if you're listening in audio and video format. So it's something that I want to get into more as we get into 2023, sponsoring wrestling events. And make sure you guys support your local wrestling superstar, company, wrestler, whatever you guys want to call it. Make sure you support your local wrestling event as soon as possible. All right, let's look a little bit into this week in wrestling. I know you more than likely didn't catch that Ricky Starks MJF promo from this past Wednesday on Dynamite.
It looked like it was good though.
Boy, I tell you, that was a brilliant ass promo from Ricky Starks. Like, you had MJF calling him the Pebble, like he was just taking shots at him. But then Ricky, our boy Ricky, that's all I can say. Our boy Ricky. I'm gonna try to pull up some audio because this man cut the promo of a lifetime that I feel like if you haven't already, you should check out, because this man, the way Ricky went in on MJF, you guys got to check it out.
And I think it's pretty. I should have expected a fifth-rate Roddy Piper.
Maxi pad.
I should have expected a fifth-rate Roddy Piper wannabe to come out here and try to steal the spotlight. Oh, you trashed the city. Oh, you trashed the people. Hey, how much more shtick do you got? Because the low-hanging fruit is running dry, partner. Now, every single week, you come out here, you smell like paint thinner and ass. You spray tan your eczema. If you took your shirt off, your back would look like you laid in an ant pile for 7 hours. You got some crappy shoes on. It's never ironed. The shirt is too small. The shitty scarf and the terrible ass haircut. And you think that you're better than moi? Give me a break.
Talk your shit, Ricky.
Oh, he went in.
And his mama was ringside too.
Oh.
Everything about you screams cheap. The cheap suits, the cheap shoes, the cheap heat. Oh my God. And you are a new AEW champion, huh? Well, here's the thing. With that AEW championship comes a big responsibility that you know nothing about. The difference between you and me is that when these people got behind me, I gave them a reason to keep going. When they put faith in you, you let them down. When Regal believed in you, you let him down. But brother, when it comes to Ricky, I deliver on time, every night, every week, every month.
Boy.
And you can take your little ass to Greece for 3 months because, oh, you didn't get paid enough. Because, oh, you got out politics by somebody smarter than you. But the fact remains is that I've been here busting my ass. You want to talk about responsibility? Let's talk about the fact that you avoid responsibility. You avoid any type of pressure. I show up to signed meet and greets where you don't care. You just blow it off because, hey, everybody hates Max, so he has nothing to lose, right? Yeah, guess what, buddy? There comes a lot of responsibility when it comes to people actually liking you. And besides your nose being a lot darker than the rest of your body, me, on the other hand, I live with dignity. I live with respect. You know nothing about that. When I lived in my car in South Austin, guess what I was doing? I was grinding. I knew the responsibility of taking care of myself. When it comes to that woman right there, it's my responsibility to get her a car, to get her a house. And you think because you pay people, because you kiss ass, that Maxwell, I'm better than you, that you can get whatever you want. Please give me a break.
That boy spitting.
Next week is a big deal because I'm putting up and I'm shutting you up for once in your miserable, narcissistic, little punk-ass life. You don't deserve this, but I do. YouTube, guess what? Been there, did that, busted my ass to get here. Never needed a name to make it right here. And I don't need a name to beat your little ass. I am Ricky Starks. I'm going to stand 10 toes down right now. Next week, I'm smacking the mole off your neck. I'm stomping an asshole right into you. And I'm taking that title.
I hope you do it.
I'm gonna do you a favor
How this is
that
going
you
right
never
now.
had done in your life. I'm going to take the responsibility off your plate, little boy.
Woo-hoo. 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 I'm gonna take the responsibility off your plate, little boy. And obviously MJF hit him with a low blow because it's MJF, but Ricky bounced back and hit the sickest spear. And all I can say, Ricky Starks is him. Ricky Starks is him. I know they probably not finna get that man the title because MJF just won it. They finna make a big deal about it. But man, I'm gonna need
So you
Tony.
think they gonna stretch it out? Like they just gonna let him reign for a little bit?
Oh yeah, the AEW doesn't believe in short title reigns for some reason. It's like everything. It's like they want everybody to have a year-long reign. Like I get it. It's like everybody don't need a year-long reign. Like we already got a 2-year Roman Reigns reign. We don't
We
need.
sure do.
We don't need every world champion. I mean, I understand longevity because it makes you feel like, okay, can you beat this guy? But come on, we don't really need that many like long-standing champions. Like so far, we've had obviously Kenny Omega was a long-standing champion. Who else was Chris Jericho was a long-standing champion. John Moxley at some point was a long-standing champion. CM Punk was a short reigning champion because the dude was crippled in a little bit. And Hangman, I believe his reign was like a few months. So it's like, yeah, MJF more than likely the way they've been building him up, they're going to make it a long-standing reign. But man, this promo made you excited to see this match. The entire show was actually pretty good.
It sounded exciting. It sounded
The
like
entire show was pretty good outside of the ongoing JAS versus BCC story that's still going. Hopefully it ends at Final Battle because it's a Final Battle pay-per-view on Saturday that I am not watching because it's gonna be at 4 p.m. on a Saturday. I got shit to do. I got shit to do. But outside of that, like this, and obviously it ended with this man holding the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the Burberry belt, the BBB as MJF likes to call it.
Burberry belt.
But man, they literally all they had to do was give MJF and Ricky Starks the microphone and they told the story. They literally sold the story. They sold the story in 1 week. And I give them that props because that was some seething words. You obviously got some people who's like, oh, did he out promote who? I don't give a damn who out promote who. This was entertaining television for me. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was brilliant. And obviously Ricky stood tall. So if you've watched wrestling as long as I have, you know that man is probably not winning the title next week because whoever stands tall before a title defense is either some shenanigans going to happen or they're just going to flat out lose. And hopefully in Ricky's case, there's some type of shenanigans to where they can drag the story out, but don't flat out beat him.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't drag it out too much.
I say the next pay-per-view. If they don't, well, no, they're going to probably give it to Danielson. It's probably going to be MJF and Danielson at the next pay-per-view. So, yeah, but put it this way: this is a match that needs to build Ricky to the point where he's up there. He's a mainstay in the main event. He don't need to be pushed back down to no TNT division.
Like it's like he's ready to just
the way that man just cut this promo.
Let's do this and now we can put him over here.
The way that man just cut this promo with no disregard or no stuttering. You can tell he meant he had the legitimately veins popping out his entire head. You could tell he believes everything you say. The best story and the best promos are when people who are giving it believes every single word, every single syllable, every single comma, every single exclamation point. If you don't believe what you're saying, why would I, as a viewer, believe or give a shit with what you're saying?
Exactly.
This man right here cut one hell of a promo. I'm gonna be glued in my seat more than likely. I'm gonna watch it when I get back from North Carolina because I fly back in that morning. So more likely I'm gonna be seeing it and probably editing next week's show. But good television. And speaking of good television, is it almost boss time in New Japan? And the reason why I asked that is because apparently it's reported that Mercedes Varnado, aka WWE Sasha Banks, is expected to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 17 event next month. That is a interesting development. According to several sources close, this is according to PW Insider. Of course, I got to give credit where credit is due. According to several sources close to the situation, while it is unknown whether Ronaldo will be appearing before the live crowd, we are told that New Japan is bringing Ronaldo in for the event. Back in October, Ronaldo teased the idea of wrestling former WWE star Kairi, formerly known as Kairi Sane, in Stardom. She is, I believe, the inaugural New Japan Women's World Champion. Which you guys should check out, by the way. I saw glimpses of that match. I'm gonna have to watch it in full again. Which, and according to report, and well, according to Stardom, which shares the same corporate owner as New Japan. So there's that. That could be a situation with what they do, but so they have the same. They recently did a corporate a crossover event with New Japan, which saw, like I said, the inaugural Women's World Champion being crowned. Sasha has recently been training at a number of places in recent months in the United States and in Mexico. So even though she walked out, her and Naomi walked out, and rightfully so, they knew their worth. She's basically been still training because she has a passion for wrestling. Do I see her in New Japan? I wouldn't mind it. It's better than people assuming that she'll be debuting in AEW in Japan in January to team with Saraya against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter in a one-off match. Unless they're like, the only way I see Mercedes in AEW is if Tony Khan legitimately rebuilds and refocuses on the women's division, not this nonchalant lackadaisy what you've been doing. Like, I mean, legitimately put it up to par with what they're doing in NXT, with what they're doing, what they're now doing on the main roster. Because let's be real, SmackDown's women's division has just been dreadful to sit through. But you're behind, and what they're doing in Impact and what they're doing now and what they've been doing in Stardom. So it's like, yo, catch up. And I mean, you got to get with the times. So just like, don't bring her in to just do what she was doing in WWE. Don't waste her time. Like, yeah, don't waste this woman's time, and don't waste my time, because I'm like, I'm gonna get hyped for it, and you just gonna just push her in the back like everybody else, like you did with Athena, like you did with so many other people who were like hot in the flame of the month, but then fell off. I can tell you one of the WWE success stories is the Acclaimed, Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Hangman Adam Page. That's 4 out of a lot. So if you get Sasha in, or Mercedes, let me start saying Mercedes, whatever she do, that's the beauty behind being in the unknown. You don't know. We don't know. We're just assuming. We're all speculating. So I'm intrigued with what they do with that. That's I guess that was the last bit of tidbit news I have for you guys. And yo, we might as well move on to the NXT Deadline 2022 speed round preview and predictions. Let me go ahead and pull up this graphic, or let me go pull up this scorecard on what we're gonna vote for. I got one section for who I'm voting for, who you got going for. So hopefully you guys can, if you tune in, more than likely I'm probably going to watch Deadline because it's at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm off. I get off by the time the show goes on, so that's the beauty behind that. But yo, let's get this ball rolling. Let's start with the main event, which will be for the NXT Championship: Apollo Crews versus Braun Breaker. Who you got? Let's start with you. Who you got?
LeBron.
You got LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? As much as I like Apollo, and I've been interested in what they've been doing with this, because they was out fishing on NXT this past Tuesday, but we both going with Braun. All right, the next match will be Alba Fire versus Isla Dawn. This match came about because Isla Dawn cost Alba Fire the NXT Women's Championship in that last women's standing match against Mandy Rose. I'm probably gonna go with Isla.
Yeah, I was gonna say Isla for this one.
All right. And then we're going to look at the match that was just announced on this past Tuesday. Is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Pretty Deadly versus the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I'm gonna have to go with Pretty Deadly.
Oh, okay. You are Pretty Deadly. I'm gonna go with the New Day.
All right. And
I ain't
then
gonna lie though, Pretty Deadly, the outfit's kind of lit.
I wear it just like I wear the Seth Rollins see-through.
Zed Rollins, right? Like,
All right,
outfit's pretty nice.
and then we got the feature matches of this premium live event. You have for the men's Iron Survivor match, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, Axiom, Jordan Devlin, big ass head, and Joe Gacy, where the winner will become the number one contender for the NXT Championship. I'm gonna have to go with Melo.
Yeah, I'm going with Melo.
All right, so
Give me Melo.
we're both going with Melo. And then for the women, the final match for NXT Deadline, we have Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, I believe that's Kiana James, and Indy Hartwell. I'm gonna have to go with Rox.
Cora.
You gonna go with Cora?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go with Roxanne, and you're gonna go with Cora Jade. And that is our. Well, I'm gonna say this show. I'm gonna watch it. I'm liking what they've been doing with NXT. It's been up and down. Some like that's any wrestling show. So hopefully, this is a fun event. Like an Iron Survivor match. I think I'm more so intrigued with the match type than anything. So hopefully this is a fun show, and that concludes our preview and predictions, our speed round preview and predictions for NXT Deadline 2022 that goes down this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't worry about us giving a preview and predictions for Final Battle because the bill is not worth the price. I'm just going to leave it at that. They did not sell me one time on any matches on this show at all, and that doesn't fall on the talent. That falls on the promoter and what they in their advertisement. That's just how we got. That's all I got with that. All right, let's go back in time, ladies and gentlemen, as we relive WWE Monday Night Raw from December 3rd, 2001, where Chris Jericho faces Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon targets The Rock. Without giving anything away, what did you think about this show?
I actually liked this show.
All right.
I really did.
Matches aside,
Especially like just
matches aside, which was pretty much just TV matches throughout. It was pretty entertaining. Like I wrote some things down where I was like, because I literally
hilarious.
when I didn't really have time to watch it at all this week, so I really literally watched it an hour or so ago. So so a lot of my thoughts are fresh on my mind. So let's see where we go.
It was so funny. Like I watched it last night and then I texted you and I was like, okay, which one is it? And then I went back because at first I ain't gonna lie. First I went to SmackDown. And I was like, wait a minute, this don't even have the right date on it. So I had to go to Raw. And then as soon as I went to Raw, I ended up finding it. And then by the time I found it, I was like, I want to say like 30. I was like halfway in, and the thing is almost over. That's when you text me, and he was like, "It's this. It's Raw from this day." I was like, "I got it now." Like. I'm almost done with it.
I looked at my phone. I was like, this woman here. I'm about to. Because
I literally would do that. I was like, wait, is it this one or this one?
I was about to grab you through the phone. I was literally about to text you like, what did you just ask me?
And it was so funny.
I sent you this shit before I left.
I caught myself, and then I looked at the email too, and I said, yeah, I did it right. I was like, why did I even text him? I said, it's too late now. I can't unsend it.
No. No, you cannot. God damn.
I already done found it, but I'm not about to delete this text message. Just there.
Even if you deleted it, I'll still see it. So it don't matter if you deleted it on your side. I'm like,
I was like, he's gonna have to put the interaction, put the ha ha ha, and just leave it.
nah, I responded because I'm like, I'm gonna make sure she got the right damn day because we're not about to get on this show and talk about 2 different shows for no damn
For
reason.
real.
Like, come
Like, wait a
on,
minute,
man.
did you watch the same thing?
You're like, did we watch the same shit? Did we see Jim Ross going in on Vince McMahon being, like, after being forced to kiss Vince's ass the week prior?
Oh my gosh.
Did we see the starter Kurt Angle's dick riding crusade? Like, were we watching the same show?
That is funny.
But
I was like, well, it's too late now. Thanks a lot, Apple. I can't even unsend it. It's too late. It said delivered.
like, damn, you can't catch it. It's already in the app. Like, Apple done snitched on your ass that you
right. It's already in the cloud. It's
like,
too late.
Goddamn. But speaking of snitching, let's go ahead and move on to this show. This cold open was so icy when I watched it. Don't know what they were saying in the song. Do you know what they were saying in the song? At the boss of the song, the beat. I was like, I don't know what they're saying, but it got you hyped with the 808s going off in my room.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Raw.
It went off. I was cool with it for a little bit. Now I hit skip intro.
He said, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I was like, nope, let's get it.
Let's move on. Like, all right, let's move on. It's going too long. Raw comes to you live from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with Jim Ross and Jerry King Lawler on commentary. They cut to WWF New York, and I started wondering if a wrestling company would ever do that again, like open a restaurant. Like, how would you imagine, like, a modern wrestling restaurant? Like, if they reopened WWE, I guess you say, well, what would you call it? WWE The World or something, like a restaurant, modern restaurant. Like, it would be, the menu would probably be like, acknowledge me nuggets, or on
SmackDown salmon, something.
SmackDown salmon, or if you believe yours is the only chili, like the lyrics from the lyrics from Judgment Day, or or the roof, the LeBron Breaker special.
Hey, that's not bad.
Or
Now I literally want to try the food now. Like, I literally would do it.
and they should
Calm down.
They should get some content creators to come up with some restaurant names, because I got a perfect one. I got the Yeeks. the cheese nuggets. Yeah. Because I'm
some oozy juice.
The moosey juicy.
The oozy juice. The oozy juices. Like the oozy juices.
The oozy slushies.
Like, they have different flavors and stuff, or oozy slushies. Yeah, that's lit.
The oozy slushies. Yes. The You know how you got the hot dogs? You got the My Dogs.
You're right.
The Sami Zayn special. You got the My Dogs.
Yeah. That's lit.
And obviously you got the retro stuff, like the wet sandwich, or the Rudy Poo mashed potatoes. The instead of the pie like the Rock used to always talk about, the pancakes, the Rock pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on before I get hungry. This is the go home episode of Raw Before Vengeance. I was like, oh. This was an accident where they crowned the first ever undisputed champion in sports entertainment wrestling history. Like, Jim Ross was like, this has never happened at this point. I'm like, interesting.
I said, we already got some undisputed stuff happening already.
Yeah, we still got undisputed. Undisputed.
Okay.
Like, all right. The show opens with Chris Jericho coming out dressed in mixed match black and white with the red ponytail. A lot going on here. And I typed down, what the fuck? He looked like a white Jerome from Martin.
Man.
Like what the, like, it was like,
it
was black and white checker. It looked like a beach tablecloth. It was a lot going on here. I don't know why. He said that like after getting chants and all that stuff, because the atmosphere for this is not like the atmosphere, but like now, like you can sometimes
that's
some of
because it
the
was a different time too.
some of the crowd now they just pay for tickets and just sit here and just sit there. I don't get it.
Yeah, versus how it was when we was growing up. I was like 5.
In
That's
2001, nobody was watching in
Yeah.
2001.
I was 5.
I feel like nobody was
Yeah, I was
watching
5 in 2001 because my brother was just born before that.
Yeah, I feel like nobody was watching this shit.
So yeah, he just turned. He was 1. Something crazy.
Everybody knows, all of you know that Chris Jericho can win the big one. But this Sunday at Vengeance, I am going to win the biggest one of them all and become the undisputed champion. It seems that The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, being the two jackasses that they are, they feel that it is a given that the two of them are going to be in the final match at Vengeance. They are overlooking the fact that Austin himself has to face the Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and The Rock himself has to face the future living legend himself, and that's me. And it's simple. They are scared to death of me, and I was like, bro, who are you trying to convince, them or me?
Right.
Like, are you trying to convince yourself or me? Because I'm not convinced. Jericho reminds the people of what he did to The Rock, which doesn't sit well with the crowd before they chant Rocky, Rocky. And as far as Stone Cold is concerned, the next time he gets in the ring with me, I am going to beat the living hell out of this jackass for sure. After Vengeance, all this disrespect is going to stop. And then JR asks out of nowhere, what is it about disrespect these days? And then I wrote down, oh yeah, this must have been a week after JR had to kiss Vince McMahon's ass when Undertaker randomly turned heel. Jericho says he will win on Sunday because he is the best. He is larger than life. And I'm like, bro, you sound like you have to take a mad shit right now. And then the new consortium, the co-owner of the WWF, Ric Flair, interrupts. And I wrote down, this man still looks old as hell in 2002 like he did in 1996. Like, bro, it's like he got to age 50 and just froze. Like he's just stuck. He's just there.
I was like, dang, he still look the same.
Still look the same. And he look the same now. Old as shit. For no damn reason. Larger than life. Do I call you Chris Jericho? Do I call you Jericho? Do I call you Chris? By God, Jericho. I'm like, why? He prefers Mr. Jericho. All this greatness fell on you because you beat The Rock once. I beat The Rock twice. For me, my friend, seeing is believing, and I ain't see either time, Flair said. And I wrote down, well, watch the product, kid. You might learn something. But to be fair, it was during the invasion angle when that match happened. Nobody watched that shit. Nobody was watching that. And I got a problem. Oh, you got a problem with me, Flair? You got a problem with Jericho? And then Flair then checks his suit, looking around like a lost puppy. You're not talking to Ric Flair anymore. You're talking to the owner of this company, pal. Woo! I like that. I'm like, bro, if you woo one more time.
For real. I said, dang, man, how many times you gonna go through this?
I'll tell you what, I do
I said,
have
man, you are this close. You're this close for me picking up the remote.
I'm about to mute you.
I was ready. I was ready to hit mute or fast forward. Like either way.
I'm about to do something else. I'm like, bro, if you say woo one more time, I'll tell you what I do have a problem with is your lack of respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Flair then does the bouncing off the ropes gimmick for some reason. For all the greatness you bring, woo! I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up with this woo shit. Woo to the world wrestling, because it's like he wooed in the middle of the sentence. I'm like, bro, get to the point.
Like, just get to it. Say what you got to say already.
It's like he was like, for all the greatness
you woo later. Like we'll get to that right now.
For all the greatness you bring, woo. I'm like, bro. For all the greatness you bring, woo, to the World Wrestling Federation tonight. You and Stone Cold, woo, go one-on-one right here tonight. Woo! I'm like, shit. Jericho's not happy about this. I'm not happy about this because this man kept wooing. Jericho put him in a match with Stone Cold. One-on-one. No titles. No outside interference. One-on-one. You and Stone Cold. And to quote Stone Cold Steve Austin from SmackDown last week, it has to be, woo, the man. You got to beat the man. Woo! And right now in my eyes, Steve Austin, woo, is the man. Woo is the man. Shut the fuck up. You say woo one more goddamn time. I am going to literally turn this shit off and say we did not, this show is canceled because this man kept saying woo. I was literally about to cancel this entire podcast because this man kept saying woo. If you say woo one more time, I'm going to shove my woo up your ass because I am tired of hearing woo every 60 to 30 seconds. We had to deal with the what chants at this point, and we had to deal with the woos at this point, and I am tired. I am over it. But Jericho's left to test it and in the ring because now he has to compete just 6 days before Vengeance. The Rock arrives to the arena backstage, so you know he's about to get into some shenanigans, and that's my type of party. WWF Vengeance is proudly presented by Lugz Boots and Shoes. Have you ever worn anything from Lugz?
No.
Do I even remember Lugz?
Not one thing.
I do research on this podcast, so what the fuck is Lugz?
I ain't worn out one thing from them.
Lugz. Let me see what this.
Nope. No, I haven't.
Ew.
I'm like, let me think. Nope,
Ew.
I haven't. Not one time.
Lugz is just rip off Timberlands.
That's messed up. See, I'm glad I ain't wearing them things. My daddy wore Timberlands when I was growing up. He still got Timberlands to this day.
These are rip off Timberlands.
Man, no. I'm glad we didn't wear those. So happy.
Buddy.
Oh no.
Oh, that was the shit. That was shit. It wasn't the shit. It was shit. It's time for some hellfire and brimstone as Kane makes his way to the ring looking jacked as ever. Big as shit for no reason. This was the first time Kane and Big Show were a team because I believe they beat the Hardys on SmackDown to become the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. It basically went from Kane and Undertaker as tag team to Kane and Big Show. Kane's opponent is one half of the tag team champions, Bubba Ray Dudley, accompanied to the ring by the Duchess of Dudleyville, Stacy Keibler, and Devon. And I wrote down Stacy Keibler, giggity.
Giggity.
Between her and Tori Wilson, I'm like giggity. Bubba attacked Kane before the bell, so you know what time it is. This was basically, like I said, any match on this entire show was TV matches, so I barely wrote down anything because it was literally just matches. They just did moves. Like nothing felt interesting until like it got to the shenanigans part. Stacy tried to sweep the leg of Kane, but Kane barely budged and he stalked her outside before Devon jumped him, literally kept clipping into the frame and gave Bubba the advantage with the referee distracted. Kane bounced back with flying clotheslines, but then Stacy got on the apron to distract the ref, but Kane goozled her by the throat, was like about to choke her out. I don't blame her. Like, get that Jezebel off the ring, as Jim Ross would say. And Devon, and DJ, I'm sorry, Stacy. Giggity. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But Devon tried to slip in and attack, but Kane saw him and gave him the big boot. Bubba then tried to use the belt, but Kane ducked and hit the choke slam to pick up the win. That's what I'm saying. This was literally just a TV match. It was literally choke slam, win. Kane's celebration didn't last as long as Devon hit Kane in the back of the head with a belt, and he barely sold it. But then the Dudleys hit the 3D on Kane before Big Show sprinted down to the ring. Came to make the save before hitting his own choke slam on Devon. The giant babyfaces stood tall to end the segment. This was basically the build to this entire show was basically the final build to Vengeance. So it was like a lot of matches were announced. Backstage, Vince McMahon is on the phone with The Undertaker, and he says it doesn't matter if he's not there tonight, just as long as he's at Vengeance to teach RVD a lesson. Kurt Angle then enters and asks Vince how he feels after what The Rock did to him on SmackDown. And I was like, what did he do? And then I realized, I'm like, oh no. He said, you have to feel like this big. What The Rock did, my friends from the Olympics were calling me and saying, how could your boss be so humiliated on national TV? Saying the whole world watching. It's on the internet. It's everywhere. And I wrote, they had internet in 2001?
Mm-hmm.
I was outside, so I don't know. I was at the cul-de-sac. I didn't give a shit about the internet. I was.
Yeah, I think they had like AOL at the time and stuff.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legit question because I was
did.
literally outside. Like I was playing basketball, riding my bikes, getting in fights.
I did that too, but I was like doing a bit of both.
Oh,
so, like, we had that, and I think we still had our old like compact computer. Like,
wasn't this around the time where you couldn't be on the phone, the landline, to use the internet? Like
I think so. Yeah.
Like if you were on the internet, the phone line didn't work or something like that. So, good luck if you had a gossip. Good luck if you had a gossiping parental figure that liked to be on the phone all the time because you could not get on the internet. Unless
you got that compact computer, you straight. You can still use a landline and be on the computer in the other room.
2001, yeah, this is 2001. Yeah, this is around the time I wasn't watching, so there's that. But I was riding a bike. I think my sister and my brother taught me how to ride a bike. And then,
and to this day, I'm not great at that no more. Not no more.
Man,
I done fell off so many times.
Keep trying and trying again.
Well, no, I'm good. I think I done skinned my knees enough. I'm all right. I'm okay.
Continuing with this, Vince McMahon, Kurt Angle continuing to remind Vince McMahon with his pants around his ankles. The Rock had you in the ring waddling around like a duck. He legit started doing the duck walk and everything. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, and
he sure did.
And he gave you the rock bottom, and your grapefruits were hanging out right in the middle on national TV for everyone to see. And he literally squatted down and started motioning that his dick was out all on TV. He was like, bro, your grapefruits was out. Your balls was just dropped. I mean, what an embarrassment moment. Vince cut him off before he gave any more details, asking like, why you reminding me of this shit, man? I was there. Right. I was right there.
Me, like.
And then Kurt proceeds to dick ride without a license and proclaims that they will get The Rock back tonight because he will not embarrass Vince McMahon, and they both sit down to come up with a plan to fade into commercial break. Back from the break is Albert, accompanied to the ring by Scotty Too Hottie to compete one-on-one with his former tag team partner, Test. Scotty referred to Test as Horseface. Mm-hmm. And I could not contain my laughter. Because that man did kind of look like a horse, though, in the face with the buck teeth.
It's like when I was watching, I said, okay, now when I look real hard, I'm like, I can't unsee it.
I can't. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, horse face.
I said, well, you might be onto something here.
You might have a point here.
The accuracy right now, it's not you don't miss. So I can't get mad.
You might have a point here, pal.
Yeah, we're going somewhere.
We're going somewhere with this. Like, hold on now. Hold on. you got a point. He said you got the worm, you got the hip-hop hippo, and you got Horseface. It's like a little wild kingdom out here tonight. And I wrote down, who the fuck is hip-hop hippo? I'm like, what?
What is that?
Apparently it's Albert. I'm like, this man with little to no rhythm is the hip-hop hippo. All right. I didn't bother writing anything down. It was a good TV match, nothing too special, but pretty solid. Albert had Test up for the military press. That man was picking up a nearly 300-pound man like it was nothing. But Test slipped out and hit a big boot, but Scotty got off the commentary to distract the referee, which made Test go out and punch him out for distracting, getting involved and distracting Test long enough for Albert to hit a nice-looking pump kick. Test tried to cheat, but the ref caught him and stopped the count. After a near fall, Test grabbed the steel chair, and as he got in, Scotty snatched it and gave him a gnarly headshot to the skull, with Albert hitting a Albert bomb to pick up the win. Scotty was just chilling in the chair like he did. He ain't do nothing. Like he didn't just scramble this man's brain as Albert celebrated on the other side of the ring. And then backstage, we get women's champion Trish Stratus. She is walking around as King started shouting, "Oh, hey, puppies. That reminds me, I got to go to the mountain next week." What? What the fuck are you talking about, man? She's looking for The Rock, heading into commercial break. What does she want with The Rock? Whoa, I don't know. Please shut the fuck up, King. Shut the fuck up.
This was going.
Between the woos and the whats and King being horny, please.
For The Rock. I was like, okay.
Please, shut the fuck up, King. Damn it. Back from the commercial break, Michael Cole is interviewing hardcore champion RVD, and they talk about Undertaker attacking him on SmackDown to build to their match at Vengeance. And RVD says he doesn't know what's up with him. He says he's just all worked up before Christian comes in and says maybe Undertaker did what he did because he gives Vince McMahon the respect he deserves. Bro, wipe your mouth. The juice is showing from all that dick eating you doing right now. What the fuck are you talking about? You got the dick in your mouth. Shaboing boing.
I was not expecting that. Shaboing boing. What is that from? I'm gonna start saying that from now on. I ain't heard that phrase in so long. The last time I heard that was from Big Mama's house. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, why? Oh, that's hilarious. It was out of nowhere too. Oh my gosh.
Christian.
It's a next year.
Christian asks if he thinks he's better if RVD is better than the Undertaker, and RVD says he'll find out on Sunday and tells Christian since he's standing here he wants to see if he's better than Christian tonight, which he agrees. As long as the hardcore title is on the line, RVD says, all right, as long as that Euro trash title is on the line. I'm gonna get disrespected the European title. That was uncalled for. Come on now. That was a beautiful title. And Christian said, my Euro? You know nothing of Euro. What's the capital of Belgium? Waffle. You son of a bitch. What the fuck you say, RVD?
Bro. Come on.
What's the capital of Belgium? Waffle.
He still kind of messed that up though, because he didn't say what's the he kind of messed up on his end too.
Yeah, he said what's the capital of Brussels? He said what's the capital of Brussels, and then he was like, I don't know, because Christian, he was like, so because RVD said, okay, so what's the capital? And Christian was like, I'm not telling you. He ain't know.
All right. So wait a minute now, who's really the dumb one?
Both of them.
Actually, both of y'all.
Both of them.
Both of y'all.
Dumbass bitch.
Right.
Boing boing.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
So it's a match with the hardcore title on the line. It's basically a hardcore style match. The camera then cuts back to Trish Stratus outside the Rock locker room. She knocks and then she just walks right in. Not once did this man say, come on in. He could have been assed out, balls hanging freely, and she just walks right on in. Like, you don't knock and enter. You knock and wait. Then you enter. Don't just slip up in there. Like, who you think this is? She wanted to come in and thank The Rock for saving her from another humiliating moment from Vince McMahon. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And she wanted to thank him properly with a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, oh no, where's this going? Is that your way of thanking The Rock? If that's your way of thanking The Rock, then allow The Rock to give you his way of saying you're welcome. And the way she just stood there all awkward and quiet, I'm like,
I knew it was gonna happen.
I'm like, what are you doing, bud? Where we going? Where we going with this?
Well, I take back to that other little capital comment. They actually were right.
It's Brussels?
That kind of, yeah, it is.
I mean, it was.
That's great.
So the capital of Belgium is waffles?
The capital of Belgium is Brussels.
Man, what the fuck?
I don't know why they would throw that in that segment like that. But I'm like, look, y'all, like before y'all do that, just make sure you know your stuff first. Don't just sit here.
Or be
talking
like
about
me and
something
just improvise. Be like me.
Don't
And
say
I just improvise most of the time. Back to this segment.
But yeah, I know what that was gonna lead to though.
Back to this segment. The way she just stood there was awkward. The Rock, and then he just started talking in third person more. I'm like, bro, why are you still talking? The Rock, he said,
Right, man, just kiss her.
it's a lead up to it. You too quick. You got to tell people because a lot of people didn't watch this. Because I was confused. I wrote a lot of shit down. I was confused with what's going on. I'm like, where you going with this? You like, is that your way of thanking The Rock? If that's your way of thanking The Rock, then allow The Rock to give you his way of saying you're welcome. I'm like, bro, you just say you're welcome. Is that so hard to just say you're welcome? Just say you're welcome. The Rock is going to grab your hand, brush your hair back, bring you in close, lean you back, look deep into your eyes, and get you to suck my dick. Oh, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. He kissed her, like she said. He kissed her. He kissed her. He didn't get no shaboing boing. He kissed her.
But he kissed her.
And the pop that man got with the crowd chanting Rocky in approval, and then that man fixed her hair back over her shoulders, titties all out. Because literally all you had to do was just pull the shirt down even more and just yang,
right,
just boobs everywhere. Fixed her hair, titties all out, turned his back to her and did the eyebrow giving into the camera to go to commercial break. I'm like, this segment was something.
Yeah, because I was like, you doing all of that back then. I'm like, it must have been real steamy. Cause
I'm just stuck on like, bro, all you had to do is just say you're welcome.
Right.
You went to singing you're welcome in 2020 or 2018, 2019. You're welcome. So, bro, you can literally just say you're welcome right here. It's not that hard. Anyway, back from commercial break. Team Extreme, the Hardy Boys with Lita made their way to the ring with Lita looking good, as Booker T would say. Ripped, all in shape. The story here was their first attempt at breaking up the Hardys, which wasn't as well received as the time they did in 2009. It'll be Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy at Vengeance. Their opponents are Spike Dudley and Tajiri, accompanied to the ring by Tori Wilson. Giggity. From Tori to Stacy to Lita, King was literally horny Twitter in human form, but worse when it came. He was so much worse when it came to scaring the hoes, though. So,
right.
Tajiri was so smooth in that ring from his kicks to the back spring elbow. The ending came when Matt Hardy hit that middle rope leg drop that basically gave him a permanent limp, but not before Jeff made the blind tag and hit the Swanton bomb on Spike to pick up the win for his team, much to the dismay of his older brother. After the match, the Hardys are still arguing, and Lita does not know what to do. Come on, guys, your team.
And they pushed her too.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. Backstage, Sir William Regal is furious, walking until we hear, "Hey, look, it's the kiss ass. No, it's the ass kisser." The APA was taunting William Regal for kissing Vince. He legitimately kissed that man's ass. Hey, kiss ass, how's that billionaire's butt? Regal obviously is not happy about this. No selling the invisible wall to get into their office and to demands to know if they were talking about him, and they continue to taunt him. What do you think? This right here took me out. What do you think he kissed to become vice president? Bradshaw asked. Oh man, that's nuts. He basically said he'll suck a dick to become vice president without saying it. And I'm like, yo, what did you just say to me?
All the innuendos.
What the hell did you just say to me? You just basically say he'll give head to become vice president. All right.
I'm like, okay, friend.
And obviously, William Regal, I'm about to butcher the hell out of the English accent. Sorry, Deontay. At least I'm not two low-life, beer-drinking, cigar-smoking, beat people up for money, bloody thugs. I'm a gentleman, and I'm bloody well respected. Bradshaw gave him two options. He'll kick, not kiss, his ass right there in their office, or he'll kick, not kiss, his ass in the ring. Regal chose not to get to the bloody ring and fight like gentlemen because they are not bloody barbarians. And I'm like, bro, why do you talk like that?
That's the accent.
Did you know that's not his actual accent? He put on a fake accent.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people didn't know
I
that.
was like, bruh.
When I heard his actual accent, I'm like, oh.
Okay.
All right.
I was like, okay.
Like, all right, that makes sense. That makes all the
You
sense.
could have told me that, but okay, it's fine. Do what you do.
Up next in a non-title match, it'll be Austin versus Jericho. Back from the break, like we just mentioned, the Hardys are still fighting with Lita, trying to break them up until they push her off. They just pushed her to the ground, just said, "Hey, get the fuck out of here, move, bitch." She's not taking anyone's side, and Matt tells her to be the referee for the match and Vengeance to prove which side she's on. And I'm like, all right. Back in the ring, it's now time for the non-title match between WWF champion Chris Jericho, WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Chris Jericho. Jericho makes his way to the ring as Raw is brought to you by Foot Locker, Burger King, the home of the Whopper, and by Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex. Have you played this game?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's one thing that stuck out to me too. I was like, Crash? I said, wait a minute, Crash was out?
Yeah.
During this, Crash was out.
we weren't watching this shit, but we was playing Crash.
I don't know which Crash I got. Like, cause I got a Crash. I think it's Crash 4 that I got now on freaking Nintendo. I was like, wait a minute.
Now hold on. You're telling my age.
If I was playing this, shut up. If I was already playing this game already, either A, I played it with my cousins, or B, I don't remember playing it. Because majority of the time I was playing, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was playing Mario or Donkey Kong, like trying to beat my cousins like level and they high scores and junk. I wasn't even focused on Crash Bandicoot at that time.
I know what we weren't doing though.
And I was still playing Mortal Kombat too. So
I know exactly what we weren't doing though. We weren't watching this shit.
Oh no.
We were not watching.
And if I was watching it, I probably just saw it in parts.
No.
Because I wasn't watching it like all the way through.
I was playing Crash or I was outside.
But I was definitely being a child.
I was outside.
And playing with my baby brother at that. So
I was whooping my sister's ass in Uno. So
see.
Yeah. The glass shatters and WWF champion Stone Cold makes his way to the ring, and he doesn't even wait for the bell to ring to start fighting with Jericho. And then I wrote down, oh, this is the beginning of the what chance. Like I said earlier, shoot me. They basically brawled all over the place from the crowd to ringside, back inside the ring. Both men got into a finisher attempt exchange until Stone Cold locks in the wall to Jericho. They basically stored all their finishers like in 2K and just stole each other's finisher until Jericho reached the ropes. Not too long after, Jericho regained control with an undetected low blow. After some time on the defense, Stone Cold attempted another comeback. He got some offense in with the Thesz press before Jericho stopped him prior to locking in the walls of Jericho until a rope break. Austin tried to fight back, but Jericho stopped him again, but this time with a bulldog, which he barely got, before going for the lion salt, but Austin moved with Jericho legit landed on his feet. Nice. Jericho then went for a wild strike, but Austin Duck hit the stunner to pick up the win. I'm like, that was a nice little fun match right there. This was probably the most match that I was looking into. Like, I was like, oh, this is intriguing. After the match, Stone Cold grabbed a couple of cold ones, a couple of beers, a couple of Steve Weisers, What? I hate that shit. What? To celebrate this win as he turns his attention to vengeance, and then out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, all you heard was, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's Booker T hot wiring Stone Cold's truck and stole his wheels. This man basically committed Grand Theft Auto on national TV that is being recorded. You can't even deny it.
Everybody to see, like
Everybody sees it. And then apparently Stone Cold stole another car during a commercial break. See, the difference between Booker T stealing this car and Stone Cold stealing the car during commercial break. No one saw Stone Cold steal the car during commercial break. Booker T was on TV, hot wiring in the car,
wide open. Like
took the crank out so he can unlock it and just pull it off. Come on, bud. Like, bro, come on. You don't have the complexion for protection. Why are you doing this?
Because he don't care.
Shit.
Simple.
Dumbass.
He don't care. I mean, whatever.
You dumb motherfucker. You dumb son of a bitch. you idiot. You.
Like, well, y'all want to play games? Like, we get play games.
All right. Up next, Mr. McMahon and Kurt. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you on TV. That shit blew me. I'm like, why are you on TV stealing? Like, bro, if you're gonna steal it, at least
right on TV.
Like at least, man. Come on, man. Up next, Mr. McMahon and Kurt Angle make their way to the ring for the customary Vince McMahon promo segment. Rock, you ungrateful SOB. You could have just said son of a bitch, Kurt, but all right.
Right.
Kurt Angle basically says if it wasn't for Vince, The Rock, Stone Cold, or anyone wouldn't be a damn thing without him. Except for Kurt, because he was already an Olympic gold medalist. Kurt Angle then continues his dick-eating crusade before they show footage of Vince attempting to force Trish Stratus to kiss his ass. And I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. Before The Rock came out and embarrassed that man on behalf of Jim Ross, Trish Stratus, and the millions and millions. Before hitting The Rock bottom, Kurt Angle then rips into Rock about what he did and asks the people if they enjoyed that. What? Did you enjoy that? What? Did you like that? What? Say what if you like to sleep with your own sister? What? See? Look at y'all. They just kept saying what? I'm like, oh my God, please shut the fuck up. And then Kurt got them to stop saying what though? I guess walking around with your pants down and threatening to shove things up people's butts may be a family tradition in this backwater city, but not in the WWF. And I'm like, bro, he just basically said y'all are some fucking bums.
Yep.
That
Basically
made their what chance turn into asshole chance. I'm like, yep, he killed the what chance. Thank God. Kurt Angle then calls out The Rock and says if he ends up facing him at Vengeance, he's going to beat a lesson into him before demanding an apology on both of their behalf. The Rock then makes his way to the stage to a massive ovation with the world title in hand. It's like I barely remember him having a big gold belt. But then again, it was the invasion in 2001. Was nobody watching this shit. So of course, we don't remember him with the big gold belt. He does his finally gimmick. Finally. Will The Rock apologize? No, this is The Rock we're talking about.
absolutely not.
He said, why don't both of you come up here and kiss The Rock's ass instead? Which infuriates Kurt Angle, but it's not just any ass, it's the people's ass. Blood, that ain't my ass. What the fuck you talking about?
Right.
Speak for yourself. That is not my ass. I don't know you. What I look like? No. Vince then says The Rock. We ain't that close, bro. Like, come on now. You speak in third person. Come on. Vince then says The Rock is just like these people. They are ingrates and proceeds to drag his point on and on and on. And Rock says if he has a way to come down there and slap that toupee off your head and hurry up and finish your sentence. Damn. So Vince, if you got a challenge, you go ahead and spit it out. You sick freak. Kurt then continues to dick ride some more before Vince cut him off to announce a tag team match as the main event against he and Kurt Angle with his tag team partner Trish Stratus. A lot of kissing here tonight. Rock kissed Trish. Kurt Angle dick riding for Vince. Christian dick riding for The Undertaker and Vince. Jim Ross want to just punch everything that move, and Jared King Lawler just continue to be horny on in real life and continue to scare in the hoes. Anyway, basically is a handicap match, but if Rock's team lose tonight, he must join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, and if he decides not to kiss his ass on SmackDown, he'll be stripped of the championship and not compete at Vengeance. Before Rock could respond, I literally almost blacked out because Ric Flair interrupted the proceedings. I wrote down, if this woo motherfucker say woo one more goddamn time during this segment, and he proceeds to do exactly that. Ric Flair then proceeds to add a stipulation as 50% owner where if Vince's team loses, then he will have to kiss Rock's ass on SmackDown. And if Vince doesn't do it, then Kurt Angle loses his shot at Vengeance before both men steal each other's catchphrase, because he said, to quote The Rock, woo! If you smell, woo, what the Nature Boy, woo, is cooking. And I'm like, please shoot me. For the love of God, shoot me.
The Nature Boy.
And then The Rock, well, his old ass. And then The Rock said, woo. I'm like, oh my God, I hope you lose. I hope you lose tonight. I hope you lose. I hope you kiss Vince's ass because you keep saying woo. Like, I was rooting for you, Rock, but then you start saying woo, and I'm like, oh, God. If I had $1 for every time they said woo on this show, I would be a billionaire right now. It was that many woos. And that was the end of the segment. That was the end of the segment. They announced the main event of the show in the middle of the show. The main event could have been Stone Cold versus Jericho, and I could have just turned this shit off right here because anything after this didn't really do anything for me. Back from the commercial break, it's a hardcore style match for the WWF hardcore title as Rob Van Dam makes his way to the ring. Christian then makes his entrance with the most 2001 gear of all time with that see-through fishnet shirt that our uncles used to wear back in the day. They put some fishnet shirts. I was trying to figure out why they wore that shit. It's a falls count anywhere match. It's a hardcore match. It was a solid, fun hardcore match up until this point, with Christian obsessed with hitting the concerto, but he missed with Van Dam hitting the spinning back kick or the Van Daminator, I believe that's what they call it, before hitting that beautiful 5-star frog splash to pick up the win to retain the title in the most tame but fun hardcore match I've ever seen. RVD picking up momentum heading into his hardcore match against The Undertaker. But I think I know why this hardcore match was tamed. We'll talk about that at the end of this show. Back from the commercial break, William Regal makes his way to the ring as they show his exchanges with Edge on SmackDown, whooping that man literally with a belt and punching him in the ribs, costing him his match against Kurt Angle. It'll be Edge versus Regal for the IC title at Vengeance. It's Regal versus Bradshaw, match made after APA made fun of Mr. Regal for being an ass kisser, not an ass kicker. This was basically a quick little match. There was a mishap with Regal hitting Bradshaw with the brass knucks, or he barely hit him. It's like Bradshaw sold for it, but nobody hit him. So, and the ref literally had to stand there and pretend that he didn't see Regal while he was looking at him clear as day. He was like, shit, we forgot the spot. Well, he hit him in the face with the brass knuckles to pick up the win. After the match, Taz appeared on the Tron from WWF New York looking for Edge and says he's looking for Edge. Where the hell is Edge? I haven't seen Edge. And then as Edge literally cut into the frame. Literally, if you're looking at the Tron, you literally don't see Edge. He cut into the frame and hit a spear on Regal. Just basically as a form of payback to like a build to their match at Vengeance. Mm-hmm. Then backstage, Kurt Angle is hyped about forcing The Rock to kiss Vince McMahon's ass, but wonders about the sight of him, that being Vince, kissing The Rock's ass. But they say not to worry about it as they walk out of the office into the main event of the evening as Vince McMahon makes his way to the ring with the roids roiding.
Right.
Like, bro, you are
Soon as she started walking, I said, "Whoa,
You are
okay,
buff
dang, dude."
for no goddamn reason.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm like, all right. Kurt Angle's out
All
next.
this is just,
I'm like, you are buff. What?
all these just, I mean, popping out.
No. I don't know.
Like, bro,
What are you doing here? Uh, Kurt Angle is out next. I'm so used to the "you suck" chants. Looking back at this at shows like this without them feel kind of weird now. Women's champion Trish Stratus is out, making her way to the ramp as they do the final build up to Vengeance with plugging WWF.com. Vince started dancing for some reason to Trish's music. It was like I couldn't even describe it. It was like him having it was like he was partially humping the air, partially twerking, and having a stroke at the same time. He was having a stroke twerk. He literally Vince McMahon literally invented the stroke twerk.
oh my gosh.
All I
I
wrote
was
down,
like, what is, I was like, "Man, what are you doing, bro? Like, you all right?"
like, bro, I'm
You
worried
still
about
look sick.
I'm worried about I'm worried about King Vince McMahon scaring the hoes with them dance moves. Like shit. Uh, all I could write down was I cannot get to the bleach fast enough. What the fuck is this show? Why did I pick this show? I am not doing this shit ever again. God damn it! I'm gonna have to put 2001 up there with 1996 as the year to
It's
avoid.
funny, though.
It was
So
funny.
funny.
It was funny, but like, God damn it, never do this shit
It
again.
was funny.
The Rock makes his way to the ring with a lot at stake. If Rock loses, he joins Vince's Kiss My Ass Club. But if Vince and Kurt lose, then Vince joins Rock's Kiss My Ass Club. This was basically a typical match. The heels dominated this match after Kurt Angle stopped Rock's momentum before Vince made the tag and controlled the Rock, hitting a low blow behind the referee's back. A lot of dick shots. It was a lot of dick riding and dick shots in this entire show. And then turning to pie-faced Trish off the apron, before continuing his assault on the Rock. But that didn't last long as Rock hit a spine buster on a cocky Vince. I probably shouldn't say cocky. I should probably say arrogant. Let's go with that. Trish then begs to get the tag and starts going in on Vince, slapping the shit out of him literally to the point where she makes him bleed before Rock distracted the ref, allowing Trish to hit Vince in the back in the balls. More dick shots before Kurt Angle hit her from behind to stop the full one. That man literally did the full forearm. He just said, yeah. Kurt makes the tag and starts taunting the Rock before Trish hit Kurt with a low blow as the referee was there. I'm like, bro, damn, y'all dicks are hurting right now. And Rock made the tag and took the fight to Kurt Angle until Rock accidentally knocked out Mike Chioda. They showed Vince's bloody nose. Trish got him good. Kurt Angle then hit an amazing Olympic slam, which saw Rock literally jump out of the frame. He literally leaped into the air. He jumped for his life on that move. And both men are down as Vince McMahon walks over off the apron before Chris Jericho came out of nowhere. Literally, I was not paying attention. He just clipped into the frame and hit the lion salt on the Rock for a very close 2 count. Vince McMahon then walks over, roided out of his mind, and chases after Trish Stratus, chasing her all the way to the back until Stone Cold walks out and begins chasing after Vince McMahon and started whooping his ass on the outside before hanging up Kurt Angle right into the Rock bottom, giving the win to Trish Stratus and the Rock. Now Vince McMahon he literally got to kiss the Rock's ass on SmackDown. Did you ever see? You remember that segment, right? Where he kissed, he didn't end up kissing. This is a spoiler for those who haven't seen. I don't know why you haven't seen it. It's 2001, but the Rock teased him kissing his ass, but he said, "You're not finna kiss my ass." Then he brought out Jim Ross and said, "Pull your pants down, Jim." And then he teased, and then he teased that, and then he said, "Nope, you're not gonna kiss his ass." Then he brought out Trish Stratus. And then he said, and then Vince was like, like a little, like he was scaring the hoes on SmackDown. Like, bro, they was just notorious for scaring the hoes. He was like, I'll kiss it. And then Ross said, "Whoa, you sick freak." And then he was like, "You're not gonna kiss that ass." And then he returned the returning Rikishi
Yeah.
And that's where that meme.
Hilarious.
That's where that meme with Vince getting his ass stuck up. So Vince McMahon has this fetish with sticking his face up wrestler's ass. He did it with Rikishi and he did it with Big Show in 2006. I remember that Hell in a Cell. I think that was the first Hell in a Cell that I watched in modern time. It was that match, and it ended with with Vince's face of Vince with Big Show's ass. It wasn't even protected like Rikishi's ass. It was literally a bare ass. So he stuck his face up a sweat. Vince has this fetish with people kissing his ass. He has a fetish with putting his face up people's asses. That man had a lot of, and that man had a lot of incest fetishes too. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. The Rock then teases Vince with air kisses because he has to kiss ass, or Kurt Angle can't fight for the undisputed title. And I wrote down, why did The Rock kiss the air like that? Like, bro, stop. And that is Monday Night Raw from December 3rd, 2001. Like you said, it was a fun show. I was getting frustrated with the woos and the what's, like, crazy. Neither one of us subscribe or follow the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I actually decided to find some notes, pull a page out of Deadlock's playbook when they do their reviews. These Wrestling Observer notes are from December 6, 2001, which kind of gives you Dave Meltzer's thoughts. With the invasion angle finally over, because you remember how I said nobody was watching 2001? The invasion pretty much killed everybody's interest because they fumbled that. The WWF has essentially hit the reset button on the company, and part of that seems to be a return to the risque days of 1999 with Raw this week. In the last 2 years or so, WWF has toned down significantly due to the pressure from the PTC, the parental people. But WWF is currently suing the PTC. Over the course of the lawsuit, it has become clear that the PTC was pretty dishonest in their claims against the company. So the PTC is kind of neutered right now. They're neutral right now, and WWF sees the opportunity to go back to pushing the envelope. So this week on Raw was essentially an episode full of McMahon's favorite kind of television, bathroom humor and employee humiliation, culminating in Jim Ross being forced to join McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club. This was talking about last week, not this episode that we just watched. In his hometown, no less. So that man got embarrassed in front of the family. As you might expect, Ross was extremely upset about the angle and fought against it, but he's the VP of Talent Relations and felt like in his position he had to set an example of going along with it. So we got Vince McMahon, the 56-year-old owner of a publicly traded company, parading around the ring in front of a sellout crowd with his bare ass exposed, while Undertaker forced Ross's face into it in an angle that the real-life performer really wasn't comfortable with doing. Earlier in the show, we also had William Regal accidentally peeing on Big Show, a bra and panties match that was much more revealing than most, and a bunch of other shit. TSN in Canada attempted to edit the show as it was airing live, but they kept messing up the timing, and every time they tried to cut away from Vince's bare ass, they ended up accidentally showing it instead. So they tried to cut away from it, and it was like, oops, never mind. And of course, the Undertaker turned heel turn was yet again another illogical turn that made no real sense. In the last 8 days, Jericho, Austin, Vince, and Undertaker and Kurt Angle twice have done heel or face turns. Keep in mind, Ric Flair made his big return to the WWF last week, and this week he wasn't even on the show. He was there. They brought him out in front of the live crowd, and he made a match during a commercial break, but that was it. All in all, this company is a complete mess right now. You should see the company later on.
Dang.
Fresh off his firing from the WWF, Eddie Guerrero was looking for indie bookings. He reached out to New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they said the earliest they would have a spot for him will be in March. So basically, this was around the time where Eddie was going through his health issues. Notes from last week's Raw. After a strong Survivor Series and one of the best Raws of the year last week, WWF immediately squandered all that goodwill by dropping a big old Raw-shaped turd this week, full of the usual sophomoric Vince McMahon humor. We had William Regal peeing on, like we just talked about that. So let's pull up what his thoughts. Let's see if he got thoughts on this week because I'm curious. I'm curious. That was last week. You said what?
I said most likely.
I'm curious. I'm gonna see what this man's thoughts was on this past show because that was December 6th. Let's look at December 6th. Where's the 12s? November, December. These numbers are all out of order. They need to get this shit. They need to get this shit together. Like, god damn. This shit is not in order. Let me see. Pull it up. No, that's 2000. I don't know why this shit is doing this. Let me pull it up right now. We live. I don't care. We live, so it is what it is. But I'm interested because it's like, bro, what are your thoughts on on this week? Because I feel like Vince McMahon was obsessed with ass. Like this dude was obsessed with making people kiss ass for no. He was obsessed.
To just do all of that. Come on, bro.
He was obsessed for no goddamn reason. Like, bro, you're forcing people to kiss ass. Okay, so this is December 7th. This is December 17th. Let's look at December 10th. I believe it could be December 10th. There he goes in depth. They talking about the brand split. Not much news this week. So it's really not that much news. I guess he didn't really have too much thoughts because it was a pay-per-view and all this stuff. Nothing too shabby. Oh, like I said earlier, what I had thoughts on why that hardcore match was a little tame. There was a incident where Booker T got busted up by RVD in a match. Booker T got a concussion and was busted open from a Van Daminator at a house show in Toulouse. So I'm guessing they toned it down a little bit because I guess he wasn't really trained in the WWF style. They talked a little bit about the plan to split the rosters into two brands. So that's an interesting scenario because the brand split is among us. There's so much going on because they had a full roster after the invasion angle that nobody watched. Apparently, there was a backstage promo film for the Thanksgiving episode of SmackDown that never aired. It apparently involved Rock and RVD in a funny bit, but the segment implied that RVD was stoned on the reefers. That's what they said, reefers. The segment got a laugh from the live crowd, but then Kevin Dunn decided the marijuana reference was too much, and it got axed from the show before it aired on TV. I need to see this. I want to see this segment. I want to see this segment now. Someone need to find this segment. Someone need to hack into WWF archive and find this footage.
Oh my gosh. I find the footage.
I need to see this archive footage. At recent house shows, this is another fetish that Vince McMahon has an obsession with. At recent house shows, Crash Holly has been seen kissing Molly Holly after their matches. Neither of them use the Holly name anymore, so Dave doesn't know if they're just ignoring that they used to be kayfabe cousins, or if this is testing the waters for some incest angle. Vince will get an incest angle over one of these days or die trying. Thankfully, he is out of power from creative because that man, he either wanted it to be the kayfabe father of Stephanie's child. He wanted to have a relationship between Stephanie and Shane at one point. This man was obsessed with incest. I don't know what the fuck wrong with him. You sure he ain't from Alabama?
Yeah, maybe.
But that's all the news and rumors I have from the Wrestling Observer. Don't get used to it because I might not do this often. I was just watching this show. I was like, I'm intrigued. Wasn't too much going on. Vengeance was going down. Did you ever see that show? Vengeance 2001?
Nah, I don't think I have.
Let's pull up some results. Let's pull up some results and see how that went because I haven't seen that in a minute. Let's see. Vengeance 2001. It was the inaugural show. Okay. The APA and defeated Billy and Chuck during the pre-show. Scotty 2 Hotty and Albert defeated Christian and Test. Edge defeated William Regal to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Jeff Hardy defeated Matt Hardy with Lita as a special guest referee. The Dudley Boys defeated Big Show and Kane to retain the WWF Tag Team titles. The Undertaker defeated Rob Van Dam to win the WWF Hardcore Championship. Trish Stratus defeated Jacqueline, love you, Jackie, to retain the Women's Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Kurt Angle to retain the WWF Championship. Chris Jericho defeated The Rock to win the World Championship. And then in the main event, obviously, Chris Jericho defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin to unify both the World and the WWF Championships to become the first ever undisputed WWF Championship. So basically, it looked like a show that was pretty solid. None of the matches went over 20 minutes. So, I mean, from what I remember from seeing it, it was a pretty solid match. It was what it is what it was. But that is all I got, and that is the retro review for WWE Raw 2001. If you say woo one more goddamn time, I'm gonna punch you in the throat. On God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is part of the Gresh and Suela podcast where I hand everything over to the Queen of Rebels herself, Suela the Bandit, for the annual Chop It Up with the Bandit segment where she give me 3 trending topics and we just have a chill out moment before we end today's episode. Take it away, Queen Rebel.
So everyone, SZA just dropped a video called Gets Me, the part 1 of the video. It will be out tomorrow. Music video. If y'all don't know what SZA is, I'm gonna need y'all to go.
I thought you were talking about some
stream
scissors.
No, SZA, SZA, the artist SZA. Yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to go stream her music because she's amazing. Also, the news has said that Brittany Griner will be returning home. There's been a prison swap exchange. So I think she comes home when today, tomorrow,
one of them days.
Somewhere.
I think she's already on the plane.
But yeah. So I done saw that lately, and I done seen too many of these people jokes. Cause some of us black folks, we don't take nothing serious.
No, we not.
So when we not, so it's just
that's just a given at this point.
Like could have been did that, but okay. Anyway, as always, stay safe out here, stay hydrated.
You don't think that's a lopsided trade though? A little bit.
Do.
High key. They traded. They traded her for the merchant of death.
Like,
I'm glad she's home because she's a citizen, but damn,
it's like, come on, bro. Right.
All right.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got slated.
Right.
High key. But continue.
Like, y'all don't use your brain, but okay. Anyway, what a dumb choice to make. Anyway, because it is. Anyway, but yeah, please, be safe out here. It's too much going on out here. It's a lot of ruckus. Too much ruckus going on out here. If in the event, if you come across somebody and they just happen to have, an attitude, just honestly, just walk the other direction. You do not need to be trying to risk yourself going to jail over stuff that don't even matter, let alone don't even pertain to you in the first place. Mind your business. As always, yeah. Also, there has been I want to say the series premiere of Willow. It just came to Disney Plus. I think it was yesterday. I haven't started watching it yet, but eventually I will. I grew up on the original
There's
Willow.
so many shows I haven't either started or have just not caught up.
But I'll give it a chance when I can. Also, yeah, just be mindful of your surroundings. If you in the event you start traveling, just be aware of where you at, and always make sure you have your safety, whatever you consider as a safety kit on you. Um, Please tell your loved ones that you love them. You don't know when their last day gonna be here. You don't know when your last day is either. So make sure you treat people right. However, in the event, it's okay to say no. Have some boundaries. That's okay too. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today.
Sweet. Oh, shit, I lost my train of thought. Fuck. Because you mentioned it slipped me. It literally slipped my mind. I mean, it is what it is. It's not. I'm not losing slip out. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. It is what it is. But yeah, make sure you guys stay safe out here. Stay hydrated. Stay in shape. Like if you can do cardio, do whatever you can do. Just do your thing. But with that being said, I guess that concludes our Chop It Up with the Bandit segment, and that concludes the Gresh Unleashed podcast, because that's all we got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between. But yo, for real, this was quite the show. This was a show that we watched. I'm like, this is a mixture of fucked up shit, stupid shit, gross shit, dick riding, dick eating. It was a lot. You got everything. It was crazy. But with that being said, you guys make sure you guys are voting in the end of the year awards, because your voice will matter at some point. This is something we're doing for the first time. If it's a hit, cool. If it is not, we ain't doing it no more. We're just gonna do what we did the last time. We're just gonna do it for ourselves. But we want you guys, the listener, to head over to www.greshandleashed.com and search for the end of the year's awards tab and click on it. You click the link, vote on tag team of the year, faction of the year, return of the year, best fan reaction of the year. So many other reactions that we want you guys to check out. And also, it will be best podcast of the year, announced team of the year, best Twitter game of the year, best fan reaction. Like I said, so many. We give you guys some choices. I believe so far as 10 choices. Also, non-binary, LGBTQ plus superstar wrestler of the year, your local or independent wrestler of the year. So many choices you can do. You can do that now by heading over to GreshUnleashed.com and clicking the link to where it says vote here and vote. The results will stop being counted at midnight on the 13th. I believe that is a Tuesday night. So vote if you haven't done so already. And with that being said, make sure you guys stay safe out here in these streets. Make sure you follow us on social media at Gresh Unleashed. That is on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Gresh Unleashed Pod. And then you can follow me at Josh Gresham ORG on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Joshua Gresham ORG on Facebook, as well as make sure you join the Reddit, r/Gresh. We will do more Reddit stuff in the new year. But for now, you guys stay safe out here. I've been Gresh. That's been Suela. She won't be here next week because the show will be taped and she has other stuff going on. But she has been one hell of a co-host. This has been one hell of a podcast. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Happy holidays. We out. Be breezy.
Bye, y'all.